Welcome to the FAQ podcast, frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Quincy. Today we have a survivor, we have a fighter, we have a comedian.
Your adjectives are always on point. You're a great partner in FAQ podcast.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
You're a great introvert.
That makes me feel warm inside. That's the whole thing. You want to make sure that your guest is well respected. Like they know that you respect why they are sitting down with you.
Does this feel like a Steve Harvey intro to you?
Nah,
Yeah.
no, not Steve Harvey.
Yeah, how you just do Steve?
No, I think he does really great.
I
intros.
love Steve Harvey, but no.
I love him on Family Feud.
Yeah, no, he's
really
she's a comedian.
Yeah,
she's a survivor. She's
Yes.
a warrior. She started comedy when it was a dark place in her life. Now she's gearing up to do her HBO Max special. Let's get her for
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Aida Rodriguez.
It's a big deal.
Aida, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You guys have good chemistry. I like this. You guys have a good.
Thank you.
'Cause even when you guys interrupt each other, you let the other person talk.
Yeah, he
And
gets really upset. He gets really.
No, I don't.
No, really?
I don't get
Oh
upset.
my God, he's,
Really? Yeah. I don't get up. Stop. Aida.
He's abusive.
We'll tell you about Fuzzy
We'll talk about that later.
Aida, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. I woke up today.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Hey.
didn't wake up today.
About that.
If you didn't wake up and come do our podcast, I would be mad at you.
Oh, I'm a woman of my contract.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
That's cool.
Dope. All right, so so you look at her.
I met her at the airport. First of all,
All right, yeah, let's talk about that.
I was dropping off Ricky Hughes.
Okay, who
Magic
is
Lemonade?
Who
Black
is?
lady, about
But
5'7".
Who is that to you?
My lady friend, my best friend.
Okay,
She's really, Ricky. Why you got to put titles on it right now?
Aida, that was kind of crazy, right?
She got a ring on her finger, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
a couple of rings.
That was kind of crazy, right?
What was
Like
crazy?
He was like lady friend.
I didn't. I don't.
Getting a little uncomfortable for you.
No, you just asked a
Oh,
question.
buddy.
Anyway, Ricky.
How did you meet? Yes.
I was dropping Ricky off at the airport, and Ida jumps out her car, and they go, "Oh my God!" And they did that thing.
Okay.
And Ricky was like, "Oh my God, Ida's really." But I
Now
saw
you know me and neither me nor Ricky act like that.
I mean, it was
We like, yo, what up? You good?
It was cool.
Yeah.
But I did see you on. You were on a couple of other shows that she did before. That's when I saw you, but I didn't meet you. But I knew who you were from afar.
Oh, got it.
But
yeah.
you guys had some cool banter
Yes,
amongst
we did.
themselves. I'm like,
Okay.
maybe it'd be great to have her on a FAQ podcast.
Where did I see? I think it was like a bunch of cool people. I think she was doing like Instagram Live. That's how I found out about Aida. Yeah, you were doing Instagram Live with somebody. It might have been.
I did.
You do a lot of cool Instagram.
Tone Bell. I stopped during after a while because I was doing a lot of Instagram lives during the pandemic.
Right. That's how we start doing ours.
Yeah. Then it got boring and people get weird and
Yeah.
everybody got something to say and I say something back. So I'm not
Are you a clapbacker?
yeah, I got time. I got time.
You see, I can see the spice.
Nah, I don't see that though.
You don't see that she can get spicy?
I just feel like she's very calm and like.
I'm that too, but I got time. I love words. So if you want to mess with me on Instagram, I got a keyboard too.
Yeah.
Some people really like. The thing is, where I come from, there are consequences and repercussions for the things that you say.
Oh,
right?
you old school with it.
Right. So the internet is a place where people think they can just say whatever they want, and then they can just hurl that out, and you're not going to say anything.
Where you from? I'm getting East Coast vibes.
Definitely, she's New York.
New York.
I don't want to say Bronx, but
That's where the roots are, between the Bronx and Washington Heights. But I grew up actually when my grandmother kidnapped me from my mother. I was in New York and she took me to Miami, and that's where I grew up.
That wasn't the only time you've been kidnapped.
No.
Yeah.
She took me from my father. My mom kidnapped me from my father.
it's real story.
Yeah, when I was little. And I haven't talked about this, but I just met him for the first time since then. Wow. Like a week and a half ago.
Wait. How old were you when this happened?
I was a little kid. I was like 3 or 4 years old.
And you just reunited with your father for the first time recently. So Q, I can share my story.
Yeah.
We have some similarities.
Okay.
But I'm going to let her talk her first.
So how was it a week and a half ago? Like, how did y'all link up? What was going on?
I went there to shoot some of the stuff from my special. I'm doing a documentary. HBO Max is doing a documentary about my process as a comedian and how I get to where I go with my jokes. And fortunately for me, I was able to land this amazing director. Her name is Nadia Hallgren. She directed Michelle Obama's documentary, Becoming.
Well, that's official.
Yeah, she's
so
working.
What that artwork look like?
Sheesh.
Yeah, she's dope. She's really good. She's also she's Puerto Rican, a black woman, and she went there with me, and so we were able to I wanted to capture some of that because that's going to be in the special. It was interesting. What I want to say is it's going to show up in the special is that a lot of times when we have estranged fathers or mothers, we have this romantic fantasy about how it's going to go when you meet
them, right?
Oh, man.
Okay.
And then when it doesn't go that way,
you're like,
But for me, it was I think it's important to talk about that because, you see these TV shows and people meet their fathers and it's oh, it was great. And I was I had questions. Where you been?
Okay, we have the same, because I didn't tell Q. All right, I don't want to step on your story.
No, go ahead. It's a conversation.
It's a story that I was saving because Q don't know anything about my father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Q, I have to tell this story when I was going to tell it around Father's Day, and that just passed. But I was like, something happened, so we didn't tell it.
Yeah.
So Q doesn't know I've never met my dad until, everybody knows I did radio. So one day I get a phone call at the radio station. They're like, hey, man, somebody said that they related to you and your father wants to meet you.
Whoa.
I'm like, what? I'm 30-something now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I've never met or shook this dude. It's not even a baby picture with my dad.
Right.
So I'm like, get out of here. My dad wants to, so I get on the phone and hey, your dad's in town. He wants to meet you. I'm 31 now.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
Right. So I call, the first person I call is my mom.
Of course.
I get the number where my dad is, and I call my mom. I'm like, hey, Ma, are you cool? I just got my dad's number. Are you cool with me meeting him?
Same.
So because my thing was, at this point, I'm like, I'm old enough to, if there was any ill shit that happened as a kid I didn't know about, or maybe he did something ill to the family, just keep it a buck with me, and I don't have to slap hands with you. I'm good.
That's right.
I got my uncles. I have my grandma, my mom. I'm cool.
Yeah.
My mom said, no. I called my mom 7 or 8 times that day, Q, right? The last call, I called my mom. I go, are you sure you want me to meet my dad? Are you because I'm good. I've been good all this. I just had a daughter. I just had Parker. She just get the hate out your heart when you do it.
Jeez.
Fuck me up. Fuck me up as a kid, right? So now I'm like, she's right. But I want to meet my dad. I'm a man. I'm a father now. I want to meet him. So we meet up that night. So now I'm getting angry. But not angry to where punching walls or anything. Right. I'm just I don't know who this dude is. I grabbed my gun. True story. I took my gun and put it in my backpack. Reason being, I didn't know who I was meeting.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had heard he just got out of jail. That's why he was in town. He was in town to attend a funeral of a lady named Aunt Love. I knew her. My mom would take me over there around Easter and Christmas.
Yeah.
I knew that she was related to him, but I never met him. I never saw him. So she had passed. So that's why he was here to pay respects, right? So I'm like, I'm going to take this gun with me. And if he says anything ill about my mom or granny, the least I can do is pistol whip him.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
Okay, that's reasonable.
31 times because you were 31.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm going to at least, I'm going to have it on me just in case he says some shit. I'm going to, first time I ever took my gun out my house for any other than a shooting range. So I knock on the door, right? I'm speeding up through the story. I knock on the door. He opens the door. Q, I'm looking at a spitting image of me at 60-something years old.
Damn.
Head full of gray and black hair, cornrows, same fucking height, these little pointy-ass eyebrows I got. I'm like, only person I thought I looked like was my mom.
Same.
Damn.
That's my
so we sit down and we have a real conversation and blah, blah, blah. And I hit him with your question. What happened?
Yo.
He goes, what do you mean? I said,
what do you mean?
What happened, bro? All doing high school, elementary, nothing.
That's crazy.
He's like, me and your mom just had 2 different lifestyles. She was in the banking. I was a wild boy, streets.
What?
Right? So I knew my dad by a picture. He's on the album cover, Rudy Ray Moore album cover.
Yeah.
And he was posed naked on one of these fairy tale godmother, whatever the Rudy Ray Moore series was.
Wow.
Right? But I later on in life posed naked on a Far Side running cover. So I'm like,
so y'all love being naked.
It was some similarities there. So that was kind of weird. It was weird, right?
It's in the blood.
So fast forward, this will be the last thing I say. Fast forward, Q. We had him come up to the radio station with Big Boy and I. Around Father's Day. It was a Friday before Father's Day. I'll never forget this. Right? And we wanted to play a game of how well you know your son.
Damn.
We're asking him questions. What was Fuzzy's, what elementary school did he go to?
No.
What was his high school sweetheart name? When did he lose his virginity? Who did he go to the prom with? When did he start driving? What's his favorite? We're asking him everything that a father or a parent should know.
How is this making you feel as he...
It was funny as fuck because we were just getting it off. I'm going to tell you where it got, when it went left. Last question. Fuzzy, his name is Charles West. What's your son's real name?
Damn it, man.
He didn't know it.
We just all called him Fuzzy. Ooh. Crush me. So this nigga don't know my name? Q, you know my government name.
Yeah.
I'm named after my grandfather. He had no... And I left it like that. I'm like, I'm cool.
That's how I feel.
So it was disappointing. I'm like,
yeah.
Then one of my last conversations with him, he called and goes, hey, I want to leave you something when I pass. I'm like, oh, now we talking business. Phone call, right? He's in Texas at the time. And I go, what's up? He said, hey, man, I want to leave you a goat farm. When I die, you know, people like goat cheese and goat milk. I'm not making this up. Ida Q on everything. I said, oh, okay, what's up? A goat farm, okay. He said, yeah, but it's like $5,000. I said, wait.
You got to pay for it?
I have to give you $5,000 to invest in something. You want to leave me?
Damn it.
That was the last time I talked to him.
Damn it.
The world is filled with pimps and hoes.
That's it, bro. So that's my father. So,
and he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away. My name was misspelled in the obituary. It was William Fussy West.
Whoa.
Fussy, Fussy. I'm like, he couldn't even. These motherfuckers couldn't even get it right at the. And they asked me, do I want to come to the funeral? I got the phone call at the job. They're like, and I thought they were asking for my mom. They're like, no, you have to sign the death certificate. You're the only. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool.
Damn it.
You want to fly to the funeral? I said, nah, I'd rather put Vogue tires on my Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yo.
So anyway, that's the Fuzzy. And I did get this off my chest, and it's not an asshole thing. I'm like, I said, by you being absent in my life, made me a better father. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, my daughter would never go through what I went through growing up. Not saying that I was traumatized by the shit. I'm sure I probably am.
Yes.
But I'm like,
I'm like
me and Parker won't have the same relationship.
But bro, like,
so that was it.
I would say that
Parker has her father.
Yeah, but you should probably do therapy. Like that's
Ricky says the same thing.
Like no, like 1000%. Like because you telling me that story and I'm just knowing that now, it answers a lot of questions for me with a lot of other things with you. Not like bad things. No. But I can I get it. I get why you have 300 pair of sneakers. I get why, you know what I mean? I get why.
What's wrong with that?
It's a problem.
I guess we got a lot in common.
Yeah, oh,
no,
you
my
have
mom
so
was
much in common.
So my mom never liked buying expensive sneakers. So I'm
Same.
like, so when I got, I was like, she would never go over $30. We got to get a therapist on the show. I have one picture of that day of at this radio station. That's the only picture of me and my dad. I'll show it to you.
Damn. All right.
That's it.
Ida.
I can relate to so much.
Less than 14 days ago.
But you're fresh off of it.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Was it emotional?
Because you filmed it, right?
Yeah, I filmed it. You know what? I was emotional before it happened.
Yeah.
Then when I met him, I don't know why I just wasn't. I was looking at him like, who is this dude? You know, like I was really like, and people are like, oh, you have trust issues. Nah, I survived from my instincts, and just because we related, we got the same name and blood, that don't mean I trust you. You know, people get wrongs by people.
Yeah, for sure.
They know all the time. So it was just really, it was interesting to watch him because I do look like him a lot. It explained that I'm tall, like he's tall. I'm the same skin tone. I have his ears. Like it was weird to look at him. Yeah, I looked at him. I saw myself. He's a pescatarian. I'm a pescatarian. He He's a writer. He's a musician. He's a form. You know, he likes to write. Like there was so much about him that I could relate to. But I still was looking at him sideways, and he's actually upset with me.
As we speak.
As we speak,
Ooh.
because I feel like you owe me an apology.
Hell yeah.
If anything, just to say, yo, if you, because he was like, I saw the Netflix special. I'm like, well, then if you saw the Netflix special,
you know how I feel.
Then you see all the stuff that I went through, and nothing. It was because your mom this and your mom that, and you can't talk about my mom.
Mom was there.
That's it.
See, that's how I felt with the pistol. Like that's what you don't take one.
I hate when people say stuff like, okay, well, I couldn't be around because they didn't like me. Like I feel bad being away from my kids for a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my kids are those my kids. Mm-hmm. How can you know you have a kid out there and just be like, well, because you know they was holding me back from you? Like
he got deported, and so, but he still was coming back to gig in the States. And even recently, since he's known me, since we touched base before we met each other in person, he came to New York to see my other sister, his other daughter, and he could have came to California. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like as a comedian, a lot of us, we live our lives out loud. And we tell a lot of our personal business, and people are like, why you exploit your family like that? I think it's important to talk about this stuff as people of color, black people.
They relate to it.
We have this collective trauma when it comes to this kind of stuff, and we don't talk about it. Yo, your business is not precious to me if you don't take care of your children, you know, and I don't owe you nothing. And then he hit me with the whoop-de-wop too. He was like, you know, talking about he wanted to move here and, you know, money stuff, and the bank got I know the game. Like, I don't.
He knows who you are.
Yeah.
See, that's, my father reached out because my son is on radio.
Yeah.
He's popping, my son. That's what it's
So for me, it was like, you know, it was an assumption of position in my life that he's not worthy of. Like he was like talking to me like, go get your sister. Like, I don't know you and I don't know her either. You go get her. Like, who you think you're talking to? I'm a grown ass woman. I don't know you, sir. You know, I'll give you the respect as my elder and the respect as the person that I'm here because of, but I don't owe you nothing. And I'm glad that I have gone to therapy and I read them books, because if not, I would have went over there with my Stockholm syndrome and they would have took advantage of me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, nah.
No, you had already shielded up for that.
Nah, I had like some per diem money, and that was all I was sharing. I was like, that's it. After the per diem I'm not going to the ATM machine for nobody. And it was because I feel like, yo, I've been without my father, you know, my whole life. I meet him. And you gonna ask me for something? Yeah. Like that's just, it's like it just messes up the whole. It makes you feel like I could have done without this, because me creating this fantasy of who you are was better. You were better in my fantasy than you are in real life. And
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Get that.
That whole thing, I was like, in my mind, I was like, you know, the narrative that my mother took me from him. But the reality of it is, if you could make your way to the States so you could perform at whatever stage you want to perform in. Your
priorities was jacked up.
Yeah, you can make your way to the States to find your daughter.
Yeah.
And so it was disappointing and disheartening. I forgave him. Like, that was for me. I wanted to forgive him for myself.
Did he take that well though?
He didn't take it because he doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's tough. And again,
everything was my mother's fault.
And that still today.
Yeah. And you know, and to give my mother some context in this, when my mother met my father, she was 15 and he was 27. So
raggy?
Exactly.
That's a lot.
That's a big difference. So when you're talking about somebody who's 15, 16, 17 surviving, I don't want to hear nothing about that, because she was just a kid trying to figure it out for her daughter.
Damn it.
So
wow.
You come from, listen, you are a survivor. You're a real, like,
I have no choice.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not special. There's so many people who've been through stuff like this that just get up every day and go work at Walmart, and they go, I'm blessed enough that I get to tell jokes. Some people have to do whatever they got to do, and they go work at a factory, you know, they go work at
real 9 to 5.
Yeah, and they got to do whatever they got to do. So I feel like I'm blessed. And so I also protect what's mine because I worked really hard for it. And, you know, my family who raised me, they made a lot of sacrifices for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let some people just come in out of nowhere and think they can just assume. And that's not to say, because my sisters were cool, the kids were cool. It was really him who felt entitled.
Damn.
But did you feel a release, though?
Yeah, I did. I left there because I went to the Dominican Republic first, and then I went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And Puerto Rico is where my family's from that raised me. So I felt like I needed the closure. Like for me, when I left, I was like, yo, if nothing ever happens, I'm good. Because I just wanted to see this dude, right? Like if I don't ever speak to him again, it'll be okay. If I talk to him every week, it'll be okay. Either way is fine because he's never going to be my father. He's just going to be a dude that I met that is responsible for me being here, and we can be friends at best. But you can't. You can't daddy me now.
Yeah, no. That's you. You've been through so much. You've been past so much. You're like, no.
Oh man,
this is. And you say in your special, right? You say with the Tiffany Haddish, they ready special. You said something about, you know, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and like so Dominican. Like so, your mom. What's your nationality? I'll say that.
So my mother's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And my father is Dominican.
Got it.
But I grew up with my mother's family. So I grew up with the Puerto Ricans. I didn't really grow up Dominican.
What's the difference? Excuse me.
It's a big difference.
Well, that's what I asked.
It's a big difference.
I'm an LA guy.
No, it's all good.
I know a lot of
It's all
Latinos.
good. No, because sometimes
See,
it's
he
important.
beats me up.
No, but it's important for people to say that because a lot of times we try to bang on each other. I'm not Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican. I'm from Peru. I mean, all it means is that we were colonized differently.
Got it. Right. Okay.
Like the Dominican Republic, all of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba were all colonized by Spain, but we all have some very different cultural differences. Puerto Rico has a more indigenous. The Dominican Republic, which is also indigenous, has a lot of black, a lot of African in the makeup of the island. I think it's one of the Brazil and outside of Africa, Brazil and the Dominican Republic have the biggest black populations.
Yeah. Ricky and I went to DR for.
It's a good time.
Did you have a good time?
There's some things out there.
Oh, thanks. Them things be thanging.
Yeah. All right, so that's DR.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And then the Puerto Ricans, of course, that's where my family that raised me is from. So I grew up really Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So let's get to the comedy, right? Because Fuzz, I don't know if you know, like you started comedy when you were homeless.
Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to say homeless.
Yes,
let's please tell us. Please tell us.
I can't stand these people. You're supposed to say unhoused. And it's a bunch of motherfuckers who ain't never been homeless that are the ones who get to tell people what the label is. Like, I've been without unhoused, and I don't give a shit if you say homeless or unhoused while I'm out in the street. So I would really appreciate it if a lot of these people who have coined
She's
these...
on me.
Not you. This terminology.
Yeah, she's checking you.
It's on some bullshit. No, it's like these people that are like, oh, you don't say homeless. That's because, you know, it's condescending sometimes. I heard this lady say, well, it implicates that people who are without a home, when you say home is where the heart is, don't have a sense of home in the street. That's easy for you to say from the comforts of your own home, bitch. You don't know what it's like to be out there with your kids trying to figure out the next day. Right. And you can't go to sleep because you don't want nothing to happen to your kids while you're sleeping. So it's easy to say that. I'm so tired of people. I appreciate people trying to bang for marginalized people, but some of y'all y'all really tried it.
Do you feel like we're just in a...
Listen, I apologize.
We had to get... The reason why we figured out...
Unhoused?
You said homeless.
What should I say?
No, you said homeless. That's fine. Like, I mean, they say you're not supposed to say homeless anymore.
Oh,
that's what she was correct.
Okay. You got to say unhoused now.
Got it. Like,
she let us know we was going to...
With a roof over your head.
We were being gentlemen. We were... we went to greet her at her car because she, you know, we're not in Beverly Hills, we're in LA.
Yeah.
But there's a camp out there. There's like a little community of
of people, human beings, who are suffering as a result of the toxic capitalism that is this country.
Yeah.
And it's by design that they are out there like that. And while we worried about terminology and trying to figure out what's the right way to describe them or to classify them, they are fucking starving, dying of heat exhaustion, and don't have a place to stay because the cost of living is so high. The jobs are scarce. The opportunities are little. And if you look at them, they all black out there. So you even know that you could add layers to that while motherfuckers sitting around trying to figure out the glossary of terms that they want to use.
Right. So, but it is a soft spot for you.
Yeah, it pisses me off because those are people.
Yeah.
And all of them they not all on drugs.
No, they're not.
A lot of them, 30%, more than 30% of them served in the military. If you've been to a VA lately, I go there to tell jokes. The VAs are a mess. Yeah. You know, most of these people are not mentally, you know, they're not all mentally ill. They're not all checked out. And if they are mentally ill, what does that say about how we treat mentally ill people in this country? We forget about them.
They need help.
Absolutely, they need help. A lot of people in this country need help. It's some people who live in a place. You ever been to the Magnolia Projects in New Orleans? I have. Those people need help. Just because they got a roof over their head, some of them don't have doors in their apartments. So we sit here and we have these conversations. A lot of us like to pat ourselves on the back because we drop clothes off in downtown and we put it on our Instagram. Yo, these people need real help, and it's structural. We not going to solve homelessness by donating clothes. It's a structural issue, right? Just like the environment. You don't have to you could throw all the straws away. Right? You could put your recycling in the bin. That's not going to change the problem until IBM and all these corporations start making changes. None of it is going to happen. You know, like stop putting the onus on the people. We need help. And we need to figure out who we put in office, because these are motherfuckers that make the decisions about these people lying in the street. You don't want to drive past them. You don't want them in your neighborhood, but you don't even want to see them as people.
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
You fire. You spicy with it right now.
It pisses me off, though. Because these people, they are human beings. And I was one of them. And Tiffany was one of them. And when you hear people say that.
Tiffany
Haddish was one of them. Like sleeping in the car. Like just because you ain't sleeping under a bridge doesn't mean you're not without a home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I get tired of these motherfuckers with all their Twitter terminology. They need to get punched in the face.
Do you feel like we're in a sensitive culture now where they're trying to re-say words?
Everyone's
fake woke for their own benefit.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the reality of it is that we amplify it more than it is. Only 7% of the world is on Twitter and social media.
7%?
Only 7%. And 4% of America. That's not a big number, but it seems more because you hear about it, because the media, you know. But it really is. Most people who got to go to work ain't got time to be tweeting all day. It's motherfuckers who can chill and be tweeting because they don't have nothing else to do.
Yeah. Is that right? One of the reasons why you chilled out on Instagram, you said on live?
Yeah, you know, I have
people coming at you sideways?
Both. People come at me sideways. I got a lot of people mad at me for that joke you were talking about when I said that some Dominicans have a problem with Haitians. A lot of the nationals from different countries were Latin people don't want Latinos, Latinx, Latine, none of them. They don't want to be classified as being racist or anti-black. So you get mad when you say that. But the truth is that anti-blackness is something that exists everywhere. Damn. And Latin people are not exempt from it. You know, like it exists in Asia, in India, in the Middle East. Anti-blackness is global. They told everybody the lie. You know what I'm saying? So it just gets... Latin people got mad at me because they felt like I was being... Like I told
a secret.
I broke code. But we got black people too. We black people too. Yeah. All it means is a boat stopped early. So some of us don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But, you know...
So how did you get to the point of I'm homeless, I have my kids, and...
Kid or kids?
Two. I have a boy and a girl.
I have my kids, and I have to... I want to do stand-up comedy to, you know...
So I had a job, because a lot of people were sending me messages when they saw they ready, and they were like, you went and did comedy while you didn't have a place to live. How could you do that to your kids? Oh, yeah, people are real greasy online. Exactly. I had a job. I had a full-time job when I was home without a home. I had a full-time job.
You were working.
I was working at a financial firm.
Get the hell out of here.
Yes.
And no one knew at work?
No, they didn't know at work. But I was working a full-time job, and I was taking care of home. I started doing stand-up. Chris Spencer is the one who got me to do stand-up.
Shout out to Chris Spencer.
Chris.
Yeah, he talked me into it.
Ricky did tell me that, yeah.
Yeah, he did. But, you know, I only used to do stand-up as a release from what was going on in life.
But how did Chris Spencer what was that process? How did he?
Well, I've known Chris for a long time, and Chris said, we did our friend had a birthday party, like a brunch, and she asked us to roast her. And when I did the roast, Chris was like, you a stand-up. He was like, stop playing. He's like, you need to go do, he wrote down these open mics for me. He's like, you need to go do the Westwood Brewing Company. You need to go do these places. And so I went and I did it, and I just loved it. So I was doing it while I had my job. I wasn't not working with two kids talking about, let me go do the open mic.
That sounds a little nutty.
Nah, it's not.
But even if you did that, that's like,
it worked out, but it's not what I did.
So people thought you was hopeless, like, all right, I'm leaving y'all, I'll be back.
Nah, I wouldn't do that to my prince and my princess. Actually, didn't
Michael Collier didn't he start, was he kind of like that?
I don't know his story.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to see him at Venice Beach all the time.
Yeah, they said he used to do.
That's where he had one of his big specials was at Venice Beach.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
I remember he went back. See him every Sunday. He was funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right.
But yeah, okay. So paint the picture.
No, but I was I was still working, and I was doing stand up, you know, to go as a release, and then I didn't quit my full-time job until 2014.
Which is not that long ago.
No, that's when I quit, when I did Last Comic Standing. I had to quit my job because I couldn't do Last Comic Standing in my job. My job wouldn't let me. But wow,
that's a leap of faith.
I worked, you know, I started doing stand-up. I did stand-up for 7 years before I quit my job. Wow. And my life was a lot. Like, I would wake up in the morning. My daughter swam, so I would take her to swim at 4 in the morning. And we would go to Pierce College because that's where they used to swim. Because her school didn't have a pool. Then she would take a shower, get ready. I would take a nap in the car. Then I would drive her to school because her school was further away. Then I would go to work, and I would work full time. Then I would come back and pick her up. Her brother would meet us at the house. He's a little bit older than her. Mm-hmm. They would do homework. We would do whatever. And then I would go do stand-up. And then I'll wake up and do it again the next day.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Damn.
And people would be like, so when I would get off stage, I would leave. And people would be like, you got to learn how to socialize. You got to kick
Network.
it. I couldn't do that.
You wouldn't do it. I got to go back.
Nah, I was like, my joke's going to have to speak for me.
So how did you go from I'm home? Like, I'm just, because I think we hear sometimes about, you know, people being homeless, and it's like, it's, oh, you have a mental issue or you're on drugs. Mm-hmm. No. How did you lose your home, and then how did you regain?
So I lost my home. I was working, I'm not going to say his name. I was working for a former football player who had a private bank. And I was working for him, and they used to write my apartment off as their West Coast office.
Got it.
Right? So all the leasing, all of the stuff was done through them, not me.
So you had a place to stay, but this
is when I left where I was living and where I was working to go work for these people.
Got it.
And they were writing my office off. And
rent free.
So not rent free because I was working full time.
Oh, got it.
But they were writing it off. Somehow something happened where my ex was involved with, because my ex played football. They knew each other. I don't know what happened. Yeah. But as soon as my ex got involved, they laid me off. When they laid me off, they stopped paying the rent, but they never told me. So one day I'm in my house and the sheriff knocks on my door, and they came to get us out. And I unraveled from that because I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't know.
You had no idea.
No, and I was just now getting back on my feet because my ex, when I broke up with him, I left Miami and I moved out to LA. I started working because I didn't get child support. I didn't get alimony, and I never waited on it. I was like, I got to keep it pushing. So I started working. So I never really had like a savings because I was still, trying to figure out my life on a weekly basis. So when that happened, I didn't have like a contingency fund. I don't have relatives here. I got some good friends here, some good people who looked out for me, but that's how it happened. And then my car got repossessed. Oh. And so I had to start from scratch.
You're getting clobbered.
But they say it takes, when you're homeless or unhoused, that it can take up to 2 years or more for you to get back. Because, you got to, now your credit looks shady. You got a bankruptcy or a repossession on your credit, and you can't just bounce back unless you make 10 million. It's not as easy to get back on your feet. And those people sometimes feel like fuck it, I'll never be able to do that again. I'll never be able to get back up because the credit is bad. You can't get a loan. You can't get a check if you don't have an address. You can't get food stamps if you don't have an address. It's so much stuff that people don't realize. And for me, it was research. I started researching all the programs. And I don't know if people if you listening out there, if you have, if you struggle with your rent, you're entitled to, there are not entitled, but there are organizations that help you get a refrigerator. I had to use everything. There was a program that helped me get clothes so I could go get another job. And they have vouchers that they give homeless people or unhoused people or the people that we forget when we're busy coming up with how to classify them people. They have vouchers where you can go stay at a Best Western or they got different programs. And so I had to start piecing all of that together.
While you're still raising kids.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, so, okay, you're doing stand-up. How'd you get back? All right, this is working now. I can quit my job. I can, I can start,
Last Comic Standing.
Building.
That was Last Comic Standing. That was 2014. That was Wanda Sykes. I went, I auditioned for it. Nothing happened. The show was frozen. My grandmother died that August 13th. My grandmother died of cancer. Then 2 months later, my uncle who raised me got murdered. He was killed in a hate crime in Miami. So they died to August 10th and October 16th. I'm still trying to do I was still doing stand up in between because I had to that was my supplemental income. And then after my uncle got murdered, that's when Wanda Sykes called me back for Last Comic Standing. And I was like, how am I supposed to do this? It's so hard.
It's so traumatic going on in your life.
Yeah, it's so hard to make people laugh. So people don't know what you're going through. That's why the internet makes me, sometimes
bonkers.
Yes, because I wore this yellow dress when I did Last Comic Standing, and they were people were just going in. They were mad at me, saying I was trying to use my looks, all of this stuff. And I wore that yellow dress because my grandmother loved yellow.
Wow.
And I had to muster up the strength to do stand-up because I was so sad. I was full of grief.
Oh, man.
So everything that I did was intentional because it was about reminding me about the mission and what she wanted for me. And so I did, I went in, and it's funny because when I made it to the top 10, there was a conspiracy to take me down from 3 of the white dudes that were on the show.
Damn.
Other contestants or the comedians,
Other comedians. And they
know who they are?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not saying their name.
I'm not asking her name. No. But I know she heard about it, these 3.
Nah, I know who they are. One of them actually apologized to me.
Mm-hmm. Do any of them have an HBO Max special coming up?
No.
Well,
see that?
Check it out. Look at God.
Look at God.
Look at God.
Yeah. One of them I believe is a good person. The other 2, they were just mad. I was the person who had been doing comedy the least on Last Comic Standing.
Oh, so everybody's in their feelings.
Yeah. Definitely gonna get the hate.
And then they were telling, they were trying to create, because Keenan Ivory Wayans, he when he first saw me, he was speechless. And if you don't believe me, you can watch it. Like, I'm not like trying to add to it. It was just funny. So they had to come back to him. And then he said that, you know, he was like, this is a distraction. You got to tone it down. Like, it was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
He was mesmerized.
Roseanne Barr was like, why you don't have a show already? Like, she was banging for me. And then Russell Peters was on there as well. And it was, man, Twitter. I remember this black woman who said, I pray every day that you get disqualified from this show.
God damn.
And I didn't even know this lady. She was mad because I checked one of the white dudes because he was disrespectful to me. And it's amazing to me to see people of color when they cringe at other people of color for standing up for themselves, because we've been so indoctrinated into believing that we don't have the right to defend ourselves against white people. And I had a practice of not responding, but I was so mad. I was like, bitch, you got so many things by the looks of you that you should be praying for, and I shouldn't be one of them. Like, what's wrong with you? But it was really interesting to see how people wanted to take me down.
Damn.
And
that's great. Like,
yeah.
Like, usually people hate silently, but just to be like, hey, I'm praying they take you out. I'm
going to tell you right now, shout out to Carlos Miller from the 85 South. Carlos, they tried to turn him against me. He was like, absolutely not. Monroe Martin always had my back. They both, they were like, we're not doing that to her. They were trying to get like everybody to turn against me. Carlos did not and would not, and neither would Monroe. So I will always speak their names because they had my back.
Nice.
Damn.
So
shout out to Carlos.
Yeah, Los, what's up, man? You do the show. People are like, I guess, blowing up your phone. Like, it's like, it's new. It's a new thing for you now.
Not that much, but a little. Roseanne Barr continued to like ride for me. She wanted me to get signed to this agency that she was with. Tamara Goins, she's a black woman that's a comedy agent, but she's the only black person who runs a comedy department in Hollywood. She runs the innovative comedy department. Wow. She's from the town, from Oakland. Yeah, she's from the town. She is. And she put me on the Shaq All-Star Comedy Jam, her and Val.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I was the only Latin person to ever tape the show. I did the last one, the very last one. But she came for me, and you know, she still shows me love. She's still my friend, and she still got my back.
Nice, that's dope. So you do it, you're doing that, you're moving around. Like, not to get into your money business, but like, when does it get successful? Like, you're like, yo,
I'm still waiting.
No,
I'm still waiting.
Did you? Never mind. I'm not gonna say what you pulled up in, but
it's four doors, four wheels.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
4 doors,
that's
4
right.
wheels. Yeah.
You know what's funny is that it's all, you know, it's all relative, because you look at said white boy that does comedy and hasn't done and still got more money than me, or I'll go out for a weekend and my white guy friends who do comedy, they'll send me their quotes so I can use them. They'll be like, yo, check it out. This is what they offered me. So take this with you. And it's considerably less.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So you know going in, I got to kill it because these are my supporters. But I know y'all just gave Homeboy 3X.
And I got more people at the club than he did.
Come on, dog.
So did you understand Monique's rant?
100%.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So I'm never gonna tell nobody how they should do stuff, because people was like, well, it was how she did it. Like I said, we are so conditioned to not speak out against the establishment that when somebody does, we cringe and we're like, oh, she could have did it. I don't know how she could have did it where she would have been heard, right? What I do say is Monique 100% deserves to be treated with the respect, the monetary respect, than some of her white counterparts who have not done half of what she's done.
Right, I get it.
And I'm not going to shit on her for that. I was very disappointed to see so many comedians, especially black people and people of color, go in on her and tell her she wasn't worthy of it when she has. I don't know how many comedians, you know, that have accomplished what Monique has accomplished. And I'm not even talking about her Oscar, because she's an Oscar winner.
Like, hello.
But she's been doing stand-up for a long time, and she deserves to get paid accordingly. She's just as funny as any white girl on Netflix.
Wow, so there's some. You're a female comedian, and also you have the Latin. Do the Latin community embrace you on the comedy? Like, there's a clique of it, right?
Well, comedy, the Latino, Latinx, Latine community is very sexist. So comedy is a man's thing for them. So they're coming around to it now. There is no woman, that we don't have the equivalent of a George Lopez in our community. We just don't.
Yeah.
We are working for it. So when I say a lot of people that are my people have embraced me and show up for me, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that the Black American community has shown up for me, and they created the way for me.
Here we are.
I would be a liar if they didn't. It's Wanda Sykes, Shaq, Tamra, Tiffany,
Ricky.
The people.
Ricky name in there. She's going Ricky Hughes
and Ricky, all that. Ricky just produced a show that I was on.
That's the reason.
The Mastery of Comedy with Angela Yee, The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne. Those are the people who showed up for me. Yeah. They got very popular podcasts that are Latin people. They have not called me to do it.
So you feel some kind of shade from that without calling out no names?
Yeah, I don't feel shade, but I do feel that we we show up for people once they're famous. We love to show up. We love J-Lo. But we don't like to build our community. We have a problem with solidarity. Because we're always because you Puerto Rican and you Dominican and you Cuban and you this and they not like me and they light skin and they dark skin. We take each other down.
Yeah.
And so we 30 years behind the Black American community.
And man, we got some work. We got some work to be done. So
but we talking about the school days stuff right now. We talking about brown paper bags and who's light and who's dark and who's this and who's that. You get to be black, you don't get to be black. We doing that now.
Yeah.
Talking about the Spike Lee reference right there. If you guys can catch that.
Yeah. What's the relationship with Tiffany Haddish? Because she loves you. You can see the way she's talking about you. She's like, yo, this is just talk about how that formed in the relationship. And
Tiffany is one of the first people I met when I started doing stand-up.
Really?
Yeah. She saw me as soon as she saw me. She was like, I see you. I know you. She was like, I heard about you. They talking about you. They already. The thing about women, when they're perceived to be attractive, the rumors start flying about how they slept with somebody to become famous. But I want to know, who in comedy do you sleep with to get successful? Tell me who got the, and when I started doing stand-up, Kevin Hart wasn't even Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Who would I sleep with to get me where I'm going? It certainly wouldn't be another comedian. It would be somebody in the industry who has power, because comedians don't ordinarily have that much power. Tiffany and Kevin have been breaking those barriers. So she immediately saw me and said, yo.
You wouldn't hit on Bill Cosby.
No.
What?
Right. I'm just putting it out there. She wouldn't hit on Bill Cosby.
Oh my gosh.
No.
See?
No. All right. So, so y'all been friends for years.
Yeah, we've been friends. And, we did when I did Last Comic Standing, she did a reality show called Funniest Wins on TBS. Mm-hmm. And we had made a pact that we were going to make it to the top 10. Neither one of us wanted to win, because we were every time, all the winners, historically, don't do well. So we were both yo, let's just make it to the top 10. And then, and let's see what happens from there. Yeah. So I'm on network.
So you're on something but don't want to win.
Nah, we didn't want to win.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nah.
Want to be seen, but don't want to win.
Nah, we just wanted the exposure, and we wanted our money to go up, but we did not want to win.
So, but what doesn't that that means you kind of had to sabotage your set at one point?
No, we didn't sabotage our set. We just knew. First of all, we were women and women of color, so we probably were
still a woman.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. But we were not going to win.
She said we were women. No, you still women.
Yeah.
No, we're still women. No, yeah. But I like it. I appreciate it. Women of color. And we probably were not going to win. Because, I don't think a black woman has ever won Last Comic Standing.
The fuck is going on with that shit?
I think
this is the past 2 years. Women's been kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, I mean,
women's.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Ladies first. All right.
What's the end goal? Like, is it like, yo, I want a sitcom. I want
movie.
World tour. You know, like what is that?
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just did a project that I really like, an independent project film with a really good actor. My goal is to do what I want to do. I want to have a career like the careers that I look at that I like are like Donald Glover, Issa Rae, Mindy Kaling.
Range.
Yeah,
range.
Like I want to. I don't have to be in front of the camera all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not a work. I don't need to be a work for hire. I want to create properties. I want to find other stars. I remember Tina Fey wrote Mean Girls, and she discovered Lindsay Lohan. Like I want to do that for us.
That's a bar. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
Yes, I did. That was her.
Tina Fey discovered Lindsay Lohan. You knew that?
Tina Fey's from Philly, man. She's from Upper Darby. That's on. Yeah.
She wrote Mean Girls.
Sorry,
man.
Anything Philly, 215 Stay Alive. That's he just goes all
Philly
in.
people, they are cult.
Yes,
but he don't want to live in Philly.
No, I want to be in LA.
Name of the production thing is
Germantown Entertainment.
You don't even go to Germantown like that.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we went to Germantown.
I'll be there next Thursday.
I know. I saw. Yeah,
Philly.
I wish I was there so I could come to the show.
But you're in a better place. You're in LA. Holla.
Yo, when I go to Philly, the first place I go is to go get the fish sandwich from the FOI, the Nation people.
You didn't take me to get no fish sandwich. You know I'm pescatarian, bro.
Yes, we could have went. It's a mosque right on Germantown and Seymour.
Yeah,
we could have went. Yeah.
So I got to hear from Ida that in your town where I was struggling to get food, we're on Instagram. Bro, we got on Instagram and beg like, where can I get a vegan cheesesteak?
My gosh.
You know I eat fish.
Ida, where do you want to? You said you did some acting. Where else would you like to take this?
Deflecting.
You see that?
I want it all. Like I don't want to be relegated to the stuff they tell us that we can only do, but they can do whatever they want to do, right? Like I want to direct, I want to act, I want to write, I want to produce. I love comedy, so I'm never going to stop. And I'm a performer, so I want to do all of those things. But like I said, I want to create TV shows for other people. Like I want to produce. I think Gerard Carmichael's been doing that too. He's been creating other people's projects. He's behind Rami. So I want to do more like that. To me, it's not just so much about it's me. I want it to be us.
Yeah. How is it when you used to be a model? Mm-hmm. How was that?
It sucked.
I know.
But the fly side still come out in you when you step on stage, like
sometimes. But that's me though. That's
you, right?
Yeah, I enjoy that.
This not to get into your personal, but do you feel it's corny when another comedian hit on you? Like, do you laugh at them?
Yeah, I do.
You have to, huh?
Yeah.
You would never want
One time for everything for us. I mean, it's been a career. It's been one comedian that's slipped past the steel curtain.
Not with her.
No, maybe not.
No.
She's serious. She's like,
no. She said she'll laugh. I would probably get on. I don't see two comedians. Has it been a successful? Do you think Desi Lou production Lucy?
They got divorced.
That's it. I wasn't successful.
And they fell out.
You said Lucy and Desi. That's where you came from.
I just thought about two comedians that did like two together. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've known comedians that have been in. I mean, a lot of the white ones that are friends of mine are in relationships.
That doesn't count.
But I'm trying to think of people.
Minorities.
I don't know. Do you know of any?
Yeah, Kevin Hart and his ex-wife.
Yeah,
but they're not together.
I know.
And Tori was not a comedian when she met Kevin.
Yeah.
She became a Tory lady.
Right.
Me and her are cool. Like I've done sketches and stuff with her, but she wasn't a stand-up comic when.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I can tell her vibe that she wouldn't let another comedian.
Not at all. You better come correct. You gotta come correct. I'm just not playing that. You're not just gonna be like, hey.
Most comedians are dinglings. Like they're just like
most men are dinglings.
A comedian, like they're really hard.
I just don't see how comedians. It's more about your intellect level. I think how cerebral you are. Like for me.
Oh, you use some words.
But look, like when I think about comedy, I think about how many people are like crabs in a barrel, right? Because they've been deluded into believing there's only room for one at the top. But when you understand economics, you know that if 5 of y'all making money, 5 of y'all gonna eat. Because all they care about is money. They don't care about your feelings. It ain't personal.
You deep.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Smart.
So if I'm gonna date somebody, they gotta know that. Because the problem that I see with comedians that date other comedians, they competitive.
Yeah, that's the part I was trying to get to. It's competitive. Maybe, I'm sorry, y'all. It's a competitive.
Yeah, it is. And so when somebody gets something,
oh man, it's hell.
The other person can't deal with it, and it's because deep down inside they only believe like this is my shot, this is my one shot. So it has to be somebody who understands like me that what's yours is yours and nobody can take it away. Like I don't want to be with somebody who's gonna be
on that.
You remember when Tina had that concert and Ike went back there backstage.
He was in his feelings.
And she was like, you see the people out there, Ike, they come to see me.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
All right, yeah. That's the part I was getting to.
Yeah. What are we going to get on this HBO Max special?
Shit, we know one part of her dad.
Yeah, that's in there.
Yeah. Did you wait? To go back to that.
Yeah.
Did the cameras show disappointment?
Yeah, absolutely. They
show you gonna keep
truth.
it?
Yeah, I'm gonna show the truth.
You have motherfuckers crying.
It's okay though. We got to tell the truth because like you've been through it and I've been through it. It ain't always this rosy thing.
Hell
You mean
no.
everything? Look at me and my dad. Say Happy Father's Day. That's not what happened. It was like deuces.
It was really a real moment.
I see you on the ground, my G. Like that was what. So I think it's important.
That's crazy.
We release people when we tell our stories because we are brave enough to tell our stories, and that in turn releases other people from the shame and guilt of the stuff, and that helps us heal. And so for me, it's like, it was not as lovely as I would like for it to have been.
But it's your truth.
But it's the truth. And I'm not gonna get on HBO Max and be like, "Cause me and my dad, we got our matching Jordans." And nah, I wanted the shake dude. I'd be like, "Yo, where you been?" And stop talking about my mother. Like, keep my mother's name out of your mouth. Like that's how it was. It was a whole different experience. It was not poetic at all.
Yeah, because I didn't want to call my dad.
I don't even know what to call. That's the most awkward. Like
that was the conflicting part to me. Like,
what do you call him?
Yeah,
what's up, Tim?
Like, you don't know this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, I was calling him sir. Like in
wow,
Spanish,
that's respectful though.
In Spanish, because I didn't. And just to see all my sisters calling them papi, they're like, "Oh, papi, this, pensión, papi." I couldn't.
What's sir in Spanish?
Señor.
Señor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a D in Spanish. I was hoping you asked Spanish because I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had to. It was a lot.
Wow. Yeah. What's the date on the HBO Max special?
We shoot on August 21st, next month.
Okay.
It's in the works, Q. They're working on it, you know what I mean? They're going to shoot it probably in a theater or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You shooting in Philly? Where you shooting?
New York.
New York.
In New York.
Oh, I'm going to come.
Can I? Philly? Absolutely, you can come. August 21st.
Nobody shoots in Philly.
We're shooting it in the Bronx.
See?
Jimmy's Cafe?
No,
bigger than that, bro.
How you know about Jimmy's Cafe now?
Fat Joe would bring me to Jimmy's Cafe all the time.
Nice.
You know Fat Joe?
Yeah, I did his podcast.
I love
I love Fat Joe.
Yeah, that's our
Shout out to Fat Joe, sorry guy.
So August
21st in the Bronx.
I'm going. I'm definitely going.
Ricky's going, so you coming?
Come on, Fuzz.
Are you coming?
She hasn't said anything. I guess I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Aida, thank you, man.
Thank you.
I know that joint got uncomfortable because we'll be there. Like Ricky will be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Aida definitely be there.
Thank you for doing our podcast.
No, thank you for having me.
You're cool.
I want to come back. I like the setup.
Yeah, this is we're just coming during. Shout out to Baron Davis in the Slick Studio.
Yes, I've met Baron several times. He's always been cool.
Yeah. Good dude. And this is our first time meeting, and I think I can't
followed
wait.
you on Instagram today too.
Oh, I gotta follow you back.
Yeah. Come on,
that's
man.
how you do it. Yeah, funny. Yeah, funny.
Funny Aida.
Yep.
Hold on.
Is it? That's it. Funny Aida.
AIDA. Yep. Funny AIDA.
Yep. I'm fine.
And people usually say your name wrong a lot. Huh?
Well, you know what it is that. In all fairness, I grew up in Miami, between Miami and New York, but I grew up mainly in Miami. I let people call me Aida my whole life because my grandmother was Aida. And so I was the little one. So I because I was around the English speaking kids, I was Aida. When my grandmother got sick, though. She was like, your name is not Ada, your name is Ida.
Yeah.
And, you know, she
Hers
was
is
like,
spelled different though, right?
no, it's spelled the same.
Same, okay.
And she was like, put some respect on my name.
Yeah.
So then I started telling people, you know, so there are people who used to call me Ada a long time ago, and now they're like, oh, she went to Hollywood and changed her name.
No, it's
like,
always been Ida.
Yeah.
It's always been Aida. My name is Aida Rodriguez, which is, I'm named after both of my grandmothers. They both have the same name. I just never, and a lot of us don't do that when we grow up in America. Like Eva Mendes, her name is Eva. Eva Longoria is Eva. There ain't nobody naming their kids Eva.
Yeah. That tongue roll gets us
That's what I need to
Americans.
get.
African Americans.
I need to get Aida Rodriguez.
Aida Rodriguez.
But it's Ida. Yeah, so
Aida.
that's where that comes from.
Is that disrespectful what he's doing? Is he saying
Aida
like that?
Rodriguez.
To the people who say unhoused, but not to me.
Okay. Aida Rodriguez.
She's funny, man.
We love
I
her.
can hang out with you.
Yeah.
I'm a pescatarian, so we got to go get some fish.
I love fish.
Oh yeah, we got some. What's it? Impossible. We got like Impossible cheesesteak. You want some because we had to keep it Phillies, kinda.
You got an Impossible cheesesteak?
Yeah, you
they
gonna
exist?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to taste it.
All right, we're gonna have some.
Easy call. No problem.
Follow Funny Ida. You will find Ida on HBO Max. You can see her on Netflix. You can see her around the country.
You
She's
can see
coming
her
to
on Showtime. You
Yeah.
can see her on NBC.
Talk that talk. Big talk.
I'm not. Listen,
You come from a tribe called Checkahoe. That's what you do.
Hey.
No, but
Sheesh.
listen. In
Sheesh.
2017, March, I did Shaq All-Star Comedy Jam, and I did HBO Entrenos, which is a Latin comedy special, but that's in English. And they came out within a week of each other.
Oh, you was popping.
I was like the first person to ever have a special come out on HBO and Showtime in a month. Like, and I don't
Hell
know
yeah, that's
women
a
is
big
a
deal.
month, so I used to be real like,
No, you gotta.
but then
yeah.
I done got around Ricky and Angela Yee and them. They be like,
No, you gotta
"Bitch,
talk
you
that
better
talk.
tell people
Yeah,
you do the
yeah,
work."
You gotta
So,
talk that talk.
All right. Well, we sorry.
Closed mouth don't get fed
Yeah.
either.
You can find Aida Rodriguez.
Aida
Rodriguez.
Not everywhere.
Well, no. A lot of places that
She's
you
not
turn
on.
on and watch content in television.
And
Thank
the
you.
Young Turks too. I'm on
See, I forgot to talk about that.
TYT.
Yeah. See,
I'm on TYT too.
she getting checks.
All right.
Christmas is nice.
She's yes. And
She's putting premium gas in the car. You feel me?
you can
She
only
ain't going
put
to
premium
Arco. She not going to
gas
Arco.
and
Yeah,
that.
y'all trying to get me jumped.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
That wouldn't happen. You know how to fight.
No, yeah, you know I do know how to fight.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
But
like fuzzy.
thank you, Aida. We appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. I appreciate y'all.
Listen, Frequently Asked Questions podcast with Fuzzy and Quincy. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Instagram and anywhere you watch YouTube or podcasts and all stuff. I'm hungry. I'm about to eat. Holla.
All right.